Human beings do not live by survival alone. We need food, we need shelter, we need safety, we need connection. But we also need something deeper. We need meaning. We need to feel that life is not only a series of tasks, accidents, responsibilities, losses, and temporary pleasures. We need to believe that our existence matters in some way, that our suffering is not completely empty, that our choices have moral weight, that love, sacrifice, courage, honesty, and hope are not meaningless words. This is why belief matters so deeply to human beings. Belief is not only about religion. It is not only about doctrine, ritual, or tradition. Belief is about the way people make sense of life. It is the inner structure that helps a person answer difficult questions. Why am I here? What matters most? How should I live? What should I do with pain? What can I hope for? Who am I when life becomes uncertain? This is the beginning of our series, The Psychology of Belief. And before we go any further, it is important to be clear about the purpose of this series. This is not about attacking religion. It is not about defending one belief system against another. It is not about proving or disproving faith. It is about understanding belief as a human experience. Because whether a person is religious, spiritual, skeptical, secular, questioning, or uncertain, every human being lives with some form of belief. Some believe in God, some believe in reason, some believe in progress, some believe in family, some believe in justice, some believe in nature, some believe in science, some believe in personal freedom, some believe in compassion, duty, truth, or human dignity. Even people who say they believe in nothing usually live as if something matters, and that is the point. Belief is not only what we say with words, it is what we organize our lives around. It is what we turn to when life becomes difficult. It is what we protect, what we sacrifice for, what we fear losing, what gives us direction when the world feels uncertain. One of the first reasons humans need meaning is that life is difficult to carry without it. Every human life includes uncertainty. People face illness, loss, aging, disappointment, injustice, loneliness, and death. They face questions that do not always have simple answers. Why do good people suffer? Why do things change so suddenly? Why do we lose what we love? How do we continue after grief? How do we live when the future is unclear? Meaning does not remove these questions, but it helps people carry them. A person with meaning may still suffer, but suffering does not feel completely random. They may still grieve, but grief is held inside a larger story. They may still struggle, but the struggle has some connection to growth, responsibility, faith, service, love, or endurance. This is one of the powerful roles belief plays. It gives people a framework, a way to interpret pain, a way to continue when life does not make sense emotionally. This is why, during difficult times, many people return to belief. They pray, they reflect, they read sacred texts, they seek wisdom, they speak with elders, they turn to community, they ask deeper questions, they search for something steady. Not because belief always makes life easy, but because belief can make life bearable. Another reason people need meaning is that meaning gives direction. Without meaning, life can become only movement, work, consume, repeat, distract, achieve, scroll, react, survive the week, wait for the next pleasure, avoid the next discomfort. But meaning asks a different question. Toward what? What kind of life am I building? What kind of person am I becoming? What is worthy of my time? What deserves my attention? What should I serve beyond my own immediate desires? These questions matter because human beings are not satisfied by activity alone. A life can be busy and still feel empty. A person can achieve things and still feel lost. A person can have comfort and still feels spiritually or emotionally restless. Meaning gives direction to energy. It turns effort into purpose. It helps people choose between what is urgent and what is important. It reminds us that not every desire deserves obedience. Not every opportunity deserves pursuit. Not every pleasure creates fulfillment. Belief, at its best, helps people order their lives around something deeper than impulse. This is why belief often shapes morality. Human beings do not only ask, "What can I do?" We ask, "What should I do?" That word, should, carries meaning. It suggests that life has a moral dimension, that some choices are better than others, that honesty matters, that cruelty is not the same as kindness, that selfishness is not the same as love, that power is not the same as wisdom. Belief helps people form an inner compass. For some, that compass comes through religion. For others, through philosophy, human rights, family values, cultural wisdom, reason, compassion, or lived experience. But everyone needs some kind of compass. Without one, people can become controlled by appetite, fear, pressure, popularity, or convenience. Meaning helps us ask, what kind of person do I want to be when no one is watching? What do I owe to others? What do I owe to myself? What is worth protecting? What should I refuse, even if it benefits me? These questions are not small. They shape the soul of a life. Another reason humans need meaning is that meaning creates belonging. Belief is rarely only private. It often connects people to a community, a family tradition, a culture, a history, a shared story, a sacred practice, a moral language, a way of mourning, celebrating, forgiving, and hoping together. This is one reason religion has been so powerful across human history. It does not only give people ideas, it gives them belonging. People gather, they sing, they pray, they eat together, they mark important moments: birth, marriage, death, grief, forgiveness, renewal. They share rituals that tell them you are not alone. You belong to something larger than yourself. Your life is connected to other lives. That sense of belonging is deeply human. Even outside religion, people create belief communities. They gather around causes, movements, philosophies, national identities, art, science, nature, wellness, justice, personal growth. Human beings look for shared meaning because meaning becomes stronger when it is carried together. But this is also where belief becomes complicated, because the same belief that creates belonging can sometimes create division. The same community that gives comfort can sometimes create exclusion. The same certainty that gives strength can sometimes become arrogance. The same identity that gives people roots can sometimes make them suspicious of outsiders. This is why belief requires humility. Belief can be beautiful, but belief without humility can become dangerous. When people believe they alone possess all truth, they may stop listening. When they confuse conviction with superiority, they may lose compassion. When they use belief to control, shame, or dehumanize others, belief becomes distorted. This does not mean belief itself is the problem. It means belief must be held with maturity. The human need for meaning is powerful, but power always requires responsibility. This is the natural midpoint of the episode. Meaning gives people strength, but it can also shape how they see others. It can open the heart or close it. It can inspire compassion or justify cruelty. It can deepen humility or inflate pride. So the question is not only, what do I believe? The deeper question is, what is my belief doing to me? Is it making me more honest, more compassionate, more patient, more responsible, more willing to face truth, more able to live with humility? Or is it making me more fearful, rigid, judgmental, defensive, or unable to see the humanity of others? This question matters because beliefs do not stay in the mind. They become behavior, they become tone, they become choices, they become habits, they become the way we treat people who disagree with us. A belief is not only tested by how strongly we defend it, it is tested by the kind of person it helps us become. Another important reason humans need meaning is that meaning helps us face death. This may be the deepest reason belief exists. Human beings know that life is temporary. We know that everything we love can change. We know that every life has limits. This knowledge creates a deep emotional burden, and across history, humans have asked, what happens when life ends? Does anything remain? Is death the final silence? Is there a purpose beyond what we can see? How should we live knowing we will not live forever? Religion, spirituality, philosophy, and even secular forms of legacy all respond to this human awareness. Some believe in eternal life. Some believe in returning to God. Some believe in reincarnation. Some believe in ancestral continuity. Some believe we live on through the love we give, the work we do, the children we raise, or the goodness we leave behind. The answers differ, but the question is universal. Meaning helps people face mortality without being completely consumed by fear. It reminds us that a life does not need to be endless to matter. It asks us to live with intention while we can, to love more honestly, to forgive where possible, to use time wisely, to become less distracted by what is empty and more devoted to what is real. This is why meaning is not a luxury. It is a human necessity. Without meaning, people may become numb. They may chase distraction. They may fill silence with noise. They may avoid deeper questions because the questions feel too heavy. But the questions remain. And at some point, every person must face them. What is my life about? What do I believe is worthy? What gives me courage when life becomes hard? What helps me remain human when suffering comes? The answer may not be simple, and it may change over time. Some people inherit belief from childhood. Some question it. Some lose it. Some rebuild it. Some leave religion but still search for meaning. Some return to faith after years of doubt. Some find meaning through service, creativity, family, nature, morality, or quiet reflection. The path is not the same for everyone, but the need for meaning remains. This is why we must approach belief with respect. Behind every belief system, there is often a human longing, the longing to be guided, the longing to belong, the longing to be forgiven, the longing to understand suffering, the longing to be less alone, the longing to feel that life has purpose. Even when we disagree with someone's beliefs, we can still understand that longing, and understanding does not require agreement. This is important. We can think critically and still be respectful. We can ask hard questions without mocking. We can hold convictions without becoming arrogant. We can listen to others without surrendering our own conscience. This kind of maturity is needed today because we live in a world where belief often becomes a battlefield. Religious belief, political belief, cultural belief, scientific belief, personal belief. People defend their views quickly. They label one another easily. They often listen only long enough to respond. But if we want to understand the psychology of belief, we must slow down. We must ask, what need does this belief meet? What fear does it calm? What identity does it protect? What hope does it carry? What wound does it speak to? What moral vision does it offer? These questions do not solve every disagreement, but they help us see belief as more than opinion. Belief is often connected to the deepest parts of a person's life, memory, family, pain. hope, identity, community, fear. Love. When we understand that, we become more careful, not weaker, more careful. Because human beings deserve to be understood before they are judged. So as we begin this series, let this be the foundation. Humans need meaning because life is too deep, too painful, too beautiful, and too uncertain to be lived only on the surface. Meaning helps us suffer without collapsing, choose without drifting, belong without being alone, act with moral direction, face death with courage, and live with a sense that our days matter. Belief, at its best, is not an escape from life. It is a way of entering life more deeply. But belief must be held with humility, because the purpose of belief should not be to make us proud, cruel, or blind. It should help us become more awake, more honest, more compassionate, more responsible, and more human. In the next episode, we will explore how belief shapes identity, why what we believe can become tied to family, culture, belonging, morality, memory, and the very way we understand ourselves. If this video gave you something to reflect on, take a moment to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. And before you leave, ask yourself this: what belief gives my life meaning, direction, and responsibility?